Video 2. Setting posts and building braces. In this video, we'll discuss laying out the perimeter of the fence line, setting posts, and building braces for a permanent fence. On a high tensile wire fence, sturdy braces are required at all corners, ends, and gate posts, as well as in places where the fence crosses significant hills or dips. For this part of the fence installation, we'll mark the locations of our corners, stretch a string line, drive the fence posts, and build our braces. To begin with, you'll need a string line, marking paint, and survey stakes or flags to mark where posts will be placed. Start by marking the corners of the fence. Drive a marking stake into the ground to mark the first corner of the fence, and then, working your way around the fence line, drive marking posts wherever the fence turns or ends. Next, stretch a string line between your stakes, defining the fence's path, and tie the end off to each corner stake. It can be helpful to clear the vegetation along the fence's path before installing the fence posts. With the string line laid out, mark the locations of all end, corner, and line posts on the ground. It can be helpful to use a field tape measure for spacing posts evenly. In this case, we're using a measurement of 16 feet between posts. You can use flags to mark the post locations or high visibility ground marking paint. Once you've marked post locations, go around the fence line, laying out the correct line and brace posts at each flagged location. When you've laid out your posts at your marks, you can begin the process of driving or setting them. For small projects, you can use a hole auger and set each post by hand. For larger fences, however, this can be labor intensive. For this fence, we hired a contractor with a hydraulic post driver. This equipment allows us to ensure that our posts are set solidly and with precision. For larger fences, we recommend using equipment and a post driver rather than setting posts by hand. There are several types of fence braces, but this fence uses H braces at all terminations and double H braces in the corners. An H brace has two upright posts with a horizontal rail between them. A double H has three uprights and two rails. Our posts are 6 inches in diameter, set 8 feet apart. Our rails are 4 inches in diameter by 8.5 feet long. We chose to use H braces because they're simple and sturdy. Diagrams of this and other brace designs are available on the resources page. First, measure and mark the height of your cross rail. You'll want the rail to sit about 2/3 of the way up the posts, but no higher than where you'll string the top wire. For this step, you'll need a saw, a chisel, heavy spikes, a drill, and a hammer. Once you've marked the location, notch the posts to a depth of about 1 inch. Install the rail with spikes. Now we'll string a tensioning wire. Notch the posts to accommodate the wire. If you're working on a corner brace, notch the center post about 2 inches off the ground, and the two outside posts even with the top of the horizontal rail. If you're working on an end brace, consider the direction of pull. For a single H brace, you'll make your low notch on the post that terminates the fence, and your high notch on the other post. Hammer 2 staples into each notch to serve as guides, then string high tensile wire in a figure 8 shape between the 2 posts. Tension this wire. For our fence, we're using a tool called a gripple strainer. We like gripples because they're simple to use and relatively inexpensive. There are other good options for tensioning wire as well. Once the wire is tight, the brace is finished. Work your way around the fence, completing all braces. Your braces should be sturdy and tight, without loose wires that may later cause short circuits in the fence. In our next video, we'll discuss stretching and tensioning the fence wires.